It's your turn to be the Game Master. How do you keep all the lore, monsters, and treasures straight? Introducing the Beadle and Grimm's Game Master's Journal. Start by choosing your cover art, add text to remind you why you play, then plan your adventures with over 200 pages for character backstory, encounters, session logs, and more. When the campaign is over, you'll have a record of your character's bravery, cowardice, or both. Probably both.
Hello, welcome. I'm Dave. This is Band of Badgers.
Yeah.
Whew. And this is our Dragonlance campaign. How you doing, everyone? How is everyone doing? We've got one. That's one person. Well done. Steve's still turning his Robocop on. There Steve's there.
I was checking Twitch. We're still live. We're good.
We're still live. We've been on for 2 minutes, 20 seconds. We're still live. We're doing something right then, Steve. We're doing something right. That's all I can say. How's everyone doing? How's the players?
Yay!
Doing pretty great.
Good.
See, that's what we want to hear. What Jeff's reaction is like, yeah, we're pumped. We're ready to be here. Right. Before we get into the game, stop laughing. Before we get into the game, let's quickly introduce everyone players. We'll start over here. Randy, tell us who you are and where can people find you.
Yeah.
And Steve is going to push some buttons in the background so I don't have to.
Hey everyone, I'm Randy Alvarenga. You can find me at Roller Roger, that's ROLLERRAJA on Twitch, or my website, randyalvarenga.com. It's right there on the screen. And you can check out like the projects I work on, find out what's going on. But I'm super excited. And now, are we introducing characters or just ourselves?
No,
just myself.
Just ourselves. Just ourselves. That's all good. Josh.
Hello, Josh McGuire. You can find me at here at the Band of Badgers, as well as the McGuire Review, where we are reviewing all the coolest tabletop stuff in the industry. So that's me.
I don't know what Steve was doing. It's like landing.
I was trying to direct people's attention to the banner at the bottom.
Oh, I love that.
You were up there. You were up there. The banner's at the bottom.
That's why I'm doing that at the bottom of the screen, rather than that. Even saying that make no sense at all.
I have no idea what you're doing. But
please go. It's behind you.
There's one here and here. Oh no, sorry. Steve's there. There we go. Ian, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. Hi, I'm Ian. I go by the Dragonborn Bard on Instagram, and that's my main social media platform. I am the chief wizard and bard of Dragonborn Industries, which do a load of tabletop gaming apparel. We do D&D dice. I handle it myself. We do some 3D printing for miniatures and hopefully adding some terrain soon. And you can find me here quite a lot with the Badgers.
Cool, thank you. Look, it's catching. Randy starting doing it now. Look. All this has got.
We lost it before we even went live, so
we did.
I've been on holiday all week. I come home, like rushed home, and I've had a couple of hours of peace and quiet, and then I come on with you lot. It's great.
You like
I'm knackered.
Yeah,
I do. Lauren, who are you? Where can people find you?
I am Lauren, and unfortunately, you can't find me anywhere because I'm not active on social media. I am an international woman of mystery.
Oh, nice.
Do I get the reference? Probably not.
International woman of mystery.
Austin Powers is an international man of mystery.
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go. I thought that just now, actually. I thought that was quite clever, but yeah, obviously, definitely do that.
And Jeff, we got some more. Where are you? You're sitting in a boat or a
I'm
tavern
on
or
my
a
ship
basement or
today.
something.
On my ship, the captain's buggered off. The crew's drunk. I'm drunk. Everybody's drunk. I'm Jeff, and you can find me on social media, but it's very difficult. And if you do, I will tell you an interesting fact about badgers.
Oh,
Cool.
Ooh.
You owe me a fact about badgers.
Okay. The badger is the UK's largest carnivorous animal, which makes us probably the weakest nation in the world for carnivorous animals.
What would win, a badger or a wolverine?
Oh,
Oh, that's a toughie.
I'm going to put my money on the badger giving the wolverine hepatitis and then it dying many months later.
Technically, aren't badgers protected? So wouldn't MI5 turn up or something?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, unless the wolverine was it wolverine you said was driving a car. Because if you kill one with a car, it's not illegal. Oh damn! I've given you 2 badger facts now.
A weasel with the second fact out.
Don't give all the secrets away.
We have to come back to that. So announcements time. We have some.
Hold on. No, I'm calling it this week. You did this last week, Dave. There's someone you've missed out.
Who's that?
Randy again.
Randy's been. Oh, you mean Steve? Sorry, Steve. Who are you, and why are you here?
I've properly got the gills now, so this is going to go horribly wrong. Hello, I'm Steve. I am the Luigi to Dave's Mario, the Goose to his Maverick, the Baldric to his Blackadder. I'm VP of the Badgers, number 2, Dave's left hand, and his
Oh God! Thank God you're
sidekick. I'm the world's greatest downtrodden sidekick.
Yeah. Your Penfold to my Danger Mouse.
Hey, that's next week. I've got to save some in reserve, haven't I?
We'll get a Danger Mouse intro for next week. We'll get that. I'm gonna make a note. Here we go. Danger. Do you guys in the States? Do you have Danger Mouse? Do you know what Danger Mouse is?
I have no idea, but that doesn't mean that it's not.
They're gonna have to look that up and watch them episodes after this.
It is the world's greatest British cartoon. We'll sort out next time.
He's a
No, don't go into it. Don't start.
Don't ruin it.
I'm already doing it. It's too late.
Spoilers. Right, so let's quickly do some announcements while we've got nobody's attention. What are you doing on the screen, Steve? Go away.
No.
Steve just sits there like, hey, what's going on?
I think that was a hostile takeover.
So, as some of you know, we actually lost a viewer for that. Well done, Steve.
There they go.
Their patron and everything. They cancelled their patron. Right. So, some of our sponsors on this particular series, our Dragonlance series, is of course Beadle and Grimm's. Beadle and Grimm's make a fantastic gaming products. One of them is this. It's the Dragonlance Steel Edition, which is exactly the edition that we are playing here on this series, as well as in real life, in-person tabletop gaming with different group players. But anyway, if you're interested in picking up your copy, you can go directly to beadleandgrims.com and pick this little beauty up for £252. But there's more. Oh, I hear you cry. Yes, there's more. Did you see the trailer? It's the GM's journal. Oh, and here it is.
Oh.
This is the game.
On the outside.
It is cork on the outside. This is the Game Master Journal. And there you go. Look, it's been personalised. There it says Band of Badgers. It says Beadle and Grimm's. It's got all this. Oh, wrong way round. There you go. It's got that on it. Has a spine. It has a back. And one of the most interesting things, it will be coming on to. We'll do a YouTube thing on this soon. But you won't be able to see this. But on the most interesting thing, the very bottom line, it says special thanks to Dave Creswell, Steve Russell of Band of Badgers. Ooh. We got published, folks.
There it is.
This is everything for a game master If you want to just keep notes on your players, people like Steve who owe you pizza money, everything you can do in here, and it comes with 2 little ribbons. It's got 2 little ribbons, but we'll do a proper video.
Keep notes on your players.
Keep notes
Not
on
their
your
characters. Keep
players.
notes on your players.
Yeah, well, there's a section for characters and there's a section for players. This is the important division here. It's a brilliant, great product. So do check it out, and it's available now, I think. So go and have a look. Right. So before we get started, I wanted to have a quick look at our characters together, and we're going to go around the virtual table here, and I just want you to say something brief about your character as we bring it up on the screen. Now we're going to start with Fizzwiz. Let's see if this will come up. Let's see if we can be. No, we can't be. We can't be snazzy with this. Let's see if we can push that button. No, that button and that button. No, it's still Steve.
Yeah,
it's still Steve. Right, there we go. So, Ian, tell us about Fizzwiz.
Oh yeah, so I'm playing Fizzwiz, who is our gnome wizard for this campaign. Just hit level 2 and is looking to follow the Order of the White Rose, the Moon of Solinari.
Very cool. Okay, moving on. Here we have Grom.
Yeah, I'm playing Grom Evanhammer, and I am a male hill dwarf cleric, level 2. Grom is looking to have a good time and making some friends, and has got some special abilities, right? That may be fairly unique for him.
We'll have to wait and see. I love the intrigue there. We'll definitely have to wait and see what comes.
Yeah,
up,
it really could be
comes
anything.
up.
You know.
Yeah,
it really could be anything.
Okay, let's see who we got next. Baccharis. Oh, sorry, Lord Baccharis.
Thank you for saying it correctly.
Yes. Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Lord Baccharis is Lord as he calls himself, and my family is well known, and if they're well known and I'm part of them, that makes me great as well. So there you go.
Good. Yorgi George.
I'm assuming you mean me.
There you go. Yeah, Steve. Who's this?
This is Yorg, despite many pronunciations to the contrary. And he is a fighter, a squire to be exact, hoping one day to make it to the lofty ranks of the Knights of Solamnia. And he believes wholeheartedly in their motto, Est Solaris Oth Mythas. My honour is my life.
Nicely done.
Powerful.
I like it. Lauren, who's this?
Shilin, she's a little elven rogue, and she's very sort of mysterious, maybe has a few trust issues, but she's kind of unremarkable, but that's how she likes it. She likes to disappear into the background.
Oh, okay. Interesting. And Jeff?
Yeah, this is Flynn Hawkins, and he started out his adult career by actually attending the same night school that George went to, but he decided to abandon that and join a life on the high seas, and then he's returned now to adventure.
Cool. Brilliantly done. Well done, all. Right, we should, and for those of you who are interested, all of that artwork is done by a company called Game Tea. They're based here in the UK. You can go to their website at gametea.co.uk. There it is. I was watching Steve's face as well. He's like, huh? It's brilliant.
I want to see that thing start. Yeah,
I'm a bit disappointed
like spinning like 3D.
I'm a bit disappointed we're not seeing Steve's face only with that.
You sure this game's going to be 2 hours?
If you've just tuned in, you just see what's this? What's Dave doing? You have to rewind and watch it again.
What cut that clap?
That's a silent clap that you're doing.
Silent clap. Right, rubbish. Okay, shall we play a game?
Yes.
Are we ready? Okay, let's roll
Are you
VT.
playing the trailers?
Arr!
That's cool. I do enjoy that. Again,
That's pretty good.
That's the budget.
That's cool.
We said that last time, and it's still true. Okay. so last, what are we doing? Last episode was the first episode. So the first episode, before we got to this is episode 2, by the way. If you didn't already know that, just go watch part 1, but not right now. If you're stuck here, you're here. So the first episode, our characters came across each other in the city of Palanthus on Ansalon. This is the world of Kryn. Not Forgotten Realms, just in case, I'll clarify. And the destinies are to be entwined. Now, we followed the story of Fizzwiz. We found out what he was up to. We also found out a little bit more about Grom, what had happened to him over the previous few days. And Lord Baccharis was on his way back to the small town or the village of Vogler. And this lot had all happened, as fate would have it, have bought tickets, coach class, on a cross-country trip back to Vogler, or to Vogler, because, as they found out on that trip, they had each received a letter of a friend who had passed. So they were all travelling to visit the funeral and pay their respects. But on their way, you encountered some mysterious robed figures who were not very nice, a bit spiky in between. You've never seen these humanoid reptilian creatures before, with wings. And Shilling, if she remembers, she actually found a serrated dagger. She's added it to her character sheet. Good. And you found a letter. Now, you spent the next couple of hours rushing onwards to the village of Vogler, where you have arrived. So to give you a bit of background, the fishing village of Vogler clings to a spit of land reaching into the Vingard River. There are wooded cliffs that overlook the community, and only the path from the north descends past the ivy-covered remnants of a crumbling stone keep. The village's modest wooden buildings cluster around a quaint central circle and along the riverbank. Jutting into the river, a bit out of place and seemingly out of time, stands an incomplete stone bridge of incredible artisanship. The structure clearly dates to before the cataclysm, eclipsing its modern peers in both size and sturdiness. The bridge crosses less than half the river's width before giving way to a series of ropes and tethered rafts which serve as ferries between bank to bank. On the other side is the city of Kalamat, or a little bit further down. On the river itself, there are dozens of small boats drift along the slow, murky waters as the fishers of Vogler ply their trade. So as you approach the entrance, is there anything that anyone would like to do or say?
Glad we're here. It's been a long time since we've been here. This is sort of where my story began, actually, funnily enough. My sister Yalmi runs the Brass Crab Inn here, so we should be all right for boardings if we haven't got that already. Like I say, this is where I set off from after I left the night school, York. Probably didn't know that, did you? Came back here, left from here, jumped on a ship, and that's where it went. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Interesting, Flynn. No, I was not aware that you lived in Vogler. I grew up in Calaman, not far from here.
So this is like coming home for you then, Flynn?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah, be very nice to see my sister. And I'm sure she'll give us all a free round of grog if we ask. Maybe, if we're lucky, she might have some rum in. Oh yeah.
Well, that would be nice.
Did it not mention the brass crab in the letter we received?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Kind of
think,
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it said we would have
Mighty.
free room on board there anyway, but you know, it's nice to be double backed up, isn't it?
Definitely.
Well, we should definitely head there then. But before we do, Lord Baccharis,
Yes.
the letter that we found on the knights that were ambushed, it seemed to indicate of more trouble. Do you think we should approach the garrison here and pass the letter on?
Yes, I can definitely do that. If you would like to go and waste time at that tavern, you can do so. He is looking around as they enter the town and just sighing heavily, just for no reason. Just
You can see that the entire village is getting ready for the Kingfisher festival, which is this weekend. So everyone is. There's a joyful atmosphere. There's bunting going up all over the place. In fact, this is what the bunting looks like. There you go. Oh, it's upside down. There you go. It's that wonderful. And it will just hang. This is part of the Beadle and Grimm stuff that you get. But it would be reams from rooftop to rooftop, between the houses, between statues and everything else. Yes, and you're a bit huffy.
yeah. But he agrees that they should go, but he will be the one to hand it over to the guards.
You are the ranking officer, sir, of course.
Yeah, rightly so. I don't know why there was a question about it.
Just in case they need any witness statements or anything, should we all come with you?
No, you shouldn't. I think we'll be fine to handle it alone. In fact, Jorg, there's really no need for you to come either.
Well, I don't mind backing you up, sir. I mean, it might be quite dangerous in Vogler.
Totally fine, but look at the festivities around. You might... Why don't you just enjoy that while you can, and I will come back with whatever news they give me.
Okay, well, that's fine if that's what you want, but I will be needing some more armour, so if you could bring some back for me, it would be most appreciated. So sorry to impose.
Understood.
What I can do is I'll put a screen up. There we go. So if I share it this way, you can all see that you're coming from the north. This is from the north. Coming through the north gate. This is Thornwall Keep. It was on your right side as you've driven in. Driven or rode? What is the term for a horse porn cat? Horse.
Corn.
No,
Horse
porn is going somewhere.
You didn't say Siri before that.
Rewind that one.
Alexa, show me horse porn.
I believe it's driven.
Driven.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Any monetization you had on YouTube, gone.
Yeah, you just lost it. Yep.
Everyone's like, "What? My phone's just." People watching this on the train have gone, "What?" So as you've driven in, you can see that Bakaris has driven down this particular area past the trees, watching all the bunting and everything go away, and then he drops you off at this area because he lives in the West Side house. So he just once you've dropped everyone off, as you're all jumping out the back of the coach, the wagon, whatever this thing is, you see someone step towards you. They are dressed in full knightly plate mail. It's a slightly older woman, and she looks like this. This is she is.
Yeah,
She's
love that
not
helm.
to be messed with. And she says, "Oh, hi guys. While we welcome many strangers in our town, we do like to keep track of them. May I inquire as to why you're visiting?"
I shall step promptly forwards and snap a crisp salute at her direction. And I shall say, "Mum, we are here for the funeral of Ispin Greenshield. My name is Jorg Boniface. I'm a squire in the Knightly Order. My commander here for the journey is Lord Bakaris. And these are my companions. We have Shilling, Fizzwiz, Grom, and Flynn."
I see. In fact, Flynn, would you be the one known as Hawk?
Yeah. How? God. Didn't realise I had gained a reputation already. Huh. Nice to meet your acquaintance.
We have Ispin to thank for that. He's said many stories around the campfire of your journeys together. Even if they were short, you seem to you certainly made a lasting impression.
Well, he was a good teacher for on the adventuring front. Never afraid to shy away from a good old rowdy adventure. Was Ispin? In fact, it was him that got me on the road to adventuring. But that's a story for another time.
I adventured I wandered with Ispin for many years, myself and Cudgel. He was, as you say, a perfect teacher. It's glad to. I'm very glad to welcome you back, Hawk. Your sister is here and she's waiting for you.
Oh, it'd be good to see her, and thank you very much for the warm welcome.
What was your name, Mum?
And she turns to you, George, and she kind of straightens her back, gives you the salute. It's okay, Jorg. I know you're a squire, but please, you don't need to stand to attention on my account, especially for you say you're Bakaris' squire.
No, not my squire. Just happened to be needing a ride.
He's taken charge of this small expedition, shall we say?
And he gives a very haughty bow.
We did encounter some trouble on the road, actually. Lord Bakaris has got some letters that he's going to...
Yes, I was able to lead the charge in that battle and to really help us gather some information. And he hands over the letter.
Okay. And what kind of thing did you see?
They were monsters speaking the language of dragons.
Draconians is how they're referred to in the letter. The information is there.
Draconian. And she hears the word, she hears the name, and she steps forward and she says, please, in hushed tones. We don't want to frighten anyone, but we have been hearing rumours of whatever these Draconians are. And as she looks around at the group of you, I see that you've... So this was a life and death situation for you? You seem to be... Where's your armour, George?
It was
Seems to be badly
lost
damaged.
when I defeated the leader of the pack. It exploded in some form of liquid that destroyed my armor.
Acid.
It looked bloody cool.
We are hearing these accounts, but it's more a case of the Northern Wastes rather than this close to
Well,
civilization.
I can bear witness as one that faced off against them close up, and the minions exploded into a cloud of gas that would choke and freeze you on the spot. The larger one, who was able to speak and communicate with us, exploded into a cloud of liquid that destroyed my armor and equipment. I had to quickly shed the armor that I was wearing before it did me any more damage, but I was injured in the process.
And they spoke of a queen.
They did speak of a queen, yes, Grum, you are correct.
Do you know of this?
Does she look like she knows of this?
Not a queen, no. We've not heard words of that. But we've had some various sightings. Most have been small, probably raiding parties or raiding bands, much like what you yourselves have run into. My concern is how close they could be. You said you found a note. This note
either. This was not a bandit organisation. This was an organised and militaristic hierarchy.
It was.
It said
They
something
weren't
about
no ragtag group.
yeah. The note from the knight said that how can they hold off for a year? An invasion force or something. It sounded bad, really bad.
Okay. What I will do is I will put pen to paper and make sure that documents are sent along with your notes, and we will speak again. But maybe I will get your accounts so we can discuss this in more detail. For now, as you can see, you are.
Yeah.
My name is. I do apologise. My name is Becklin.
Pleased to meet you, Becklin.
And you.
Pleasure.
But come, are you all here for the funeral of Ispin Greenshield, or are you to attend the Kingfisher Festival?
The funeral.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we will hear all your stories. The funeral is scheduled for sundown this evening, and tomorrow we will open the festivities brand new with the Kingfisher Festival. I hope that you will stay and join us for as long as you can.
Well, thank you for your kindness.
Thank you.
Sorry, but
Okay.
before you go, after I've been to the funeral, I need to go to Kalaman and find somebody called Wayhan. Do you know of this person?
I don't know that person, no. Not someone that would have come around in those circles. However, we do have regular caravans, if you like, on the way to Kalaman. I'm sure you can find a passage on, it will be a flotilla of some kind to Kalaman. But we can arrange that. But please do stay. As I mentioned, the funeral is this evening. And the festival begins tomorrow. But we shall talk before then. To all of you, and I wish you well. I wish you welcome to our small village.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And she hurries off. She takes the notes, the documents you have, and you can see her walk off back up the road towards Thornwall Keep.
With that, good evening. I shall see the rest of you tonight at the funeral. Until then, I am off. And he sort of trots the cart away.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
See you, Bucharest.
is he not staying with us at the rest? I guess maybe he's got his own place.
I thought we were all going to the inn together.
Well, he seemed to want to go off on his own, so
Oh.
I'm sure he has his reasons.
I could be wrong, but I think he actually owns a house in the town, so he's probably wants
Oh,
to go
fair
there.
enough.
from what I remember anyway. Yeah. So, should we go off to the brass?
Let's do it.
Underway.
Awesome.
Okay, you make your way down to the Brass Crab, as it's called. It is a pub. I'll bring up the screen again so you can see it. There we go. Let's put it this way so we can go full screen. Let's get rid of that. So the Brass Crab is located here, and you can see it's partly on the dock, but it's a huge building along the docks, and owned by Hawk's sister. There is also the wharf where they do fishing. Everything is getting as bunting and is decorated. There's going to be a fishing competition down here at some point over the weekend, and there is a dock straight off the back of the pub itself, the Brass Crab.
Okay.
So as we approach the Brass Crab, you see Flynn starts to get very excited, and he actually has a little hop and a step in his walk. And as he gets to the front door, he just kicks the front door open and he says, "I'm back! Where are you, Yelmy?"
Straight away, you just see this young woman fling herself, body and soul, into the arms of the man that you know as Hawk.
"Hey, where have you been, my little sis?" I'll just explain before you kick off there. She is a self-made woman. She did not marry to get this pub. She worked her way up and got it herself. There might have been some skullduggery involved, but, you know, it's all part of the game. How you doing, Yelmy?
She welcomes you and she drags you over to a table, gets you some drinks, and you spend the rest of the afternoon chatting away, catching up, as you wish.
Drinks are on me. It's a shame Dracarys isn't there.
Yeah, you guys don't mind, and like Fizz was just sat there, and he still looks like really kind of like untidy, and he just looks unnatural. It's like, is there anywhere I can go to get tidied up? I want to look smart for Ispin's send off tonight.
Yes, I would like to do this.
Yeah, I think she
am I
as
allowed
well,
to go
actually.
Should we go together?
Yeah,
Should we find a barber's or a place we can...
Washroom.
There are various places. So around the village circle. Again, I'll bring it up on the screen for you, if that one works. There we go. So around just northeast of the Brass Crab is the village circle. Everything is there. There are stalls, workshops, barbers, hairdressers, clothing, armorers, blacksmiths. Whatever you require can all be found around the village circle. And again, everything is getting ready for you. You start to relax as you do. You've got your own rooms. You're not sharing rooms at the Brass Crab. You've got your own room. So you're able to drop off your gear, leave your weapons and your armor behind, and you just soak up the atmosphere. There are children running around. There are dogs chasing cats. Cats chasing dogs. Who knows what's going on?
Pandemonium.
Pandemonium. It is a fantastic atmosphere. And you spend the afternoon doing whatever you need to do. If there's anything in particular you'd like to do, just let me know.
I'm changing clothes.
Yep.
Babe. I'm going to come back to this funeral fancy.
That is perfectly fine.
Yeah, I want to go and get a haircut, get my clothes cleaned, and then going to polish my boots and all the leather work on my scab and stuff like that.
Okay, so all of the usual stuff collectively will cost you a gold piece for that.
Okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
a silver piece, a steel piece.
A steel piece. A steel piece.
Steel piece.
Please.
Fizz just wants to get trimmed up. He to himself, he absolutely loathes his beard. He does not like it whatsoever. But because he's a gnome, it grows so ridiculously fast that within 5 days it'll be back at his feet again. So he's dying to get a shave and to have his hair tidied up, just kind of like his mum used to do in a way. And so because he's quite young, he goes out and he'll be like, he doesn't leave anything behind. He keeps his quarterstaff in his traveling coat and his books in his bag, and he doesn't really have anything else. But he'll find somewhere. And he's like, hi, and he'll pay to. Although, like, the barber may talk, he's just happy to listen and take it all in. And he gets, once he's all trimmed up, he looks really baby-faced. And these bright blue eyes really sparkle. And then he's got this, like, platinum hair that has this kind of, like, Sephiroth-esque kind of, like, bangs to it. But it's still, like, long in the back into a ponytail as well. And, like, within 10 minutes, it's like the 5 o'clock shout again.
That's awesome. Yeah, Grom's a little hungry and starts to approach sort of the bar there. But in hearing Fizzwiz talk about getting cleaned up, and he sort of just kind of packs that hunger below, and well, that's a great idea, Fizz. I think we should get cleaned up, and I myself, especially after battle, probably should wash up a little bit too, and kind of brushes off his chainmail and walks kind of towards Fizz.
Nice. Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, we'll get some food afterwards. Like, I bet it's nothing compared to your cooking, Bo. That was amazing.
Well, I appreciate that, but well, we'll see. We'll see.
What about you, Shilling? Are you with us, or are you?
I think I may tag along. I might get my hair braided all nice and maybe get some fresh clothes, because after battle they did get pretty mucky, let's say. So to be respectful at the funeral, I'd be, kind of embarrassed to wear what I'm wearing now.
Yeah.
Flynn is going to obviously catch up with his sister and spends the afternoon eating and drinking, arm wrestling patrons for steel pieces, and generally having a good time.
And by sundown, Hawk has managed to make 10 steel pieces.
Oh.
Who got the 40 on the cart?
That was on the cart money. The coach.
When we had the fight, who took the 40?
Oh.
Who did take the money?
If it's on the card,
I
it's
didn't.
with me.
I think it's just on the card.
That's why he wanted to.
That's why you wanted to go away quick.
That was Ian the player asking that question, not Fizzwiz.
No, yeah.
So you hear words. It starts at the Brass Crab. You hear words that people are starting to gather along the dock, and the funeral is about to begin. So you one by one, you move out. The crowd is huge. It's an exceptional crowd. Those who are closest to Ispin Greensword, as I say, gather on the dock overlooking the Vingard River. There, Ispin body rests in a small boat. His body is wrapped in a shroud. There is a musician who plays a soft song as the knight who you met earlier, Beckling, steps forward in her ornate Solomonic armor, and she smiles gently at all those assembled, and her voice carries clearly across the water. You all knew Ispin as a friend, and there were none like him. Before he died, he told me this: there should be tales, not tears, for an old scoundrel like me. Make sure everyone knows my stories when I head off on the greatest adventure of them all. Beckling nods, and the villagers carry the boat containing Ispin's body to the dock's edge, where she and Cudgel lower it into the water. Now, just to give you an idea of what that might look like, here is some artwork for you. So let us do just that. Beckling continues as the tiny vessel drifts out onto the Vingard River. On the eve of the Kingfisher Festival, we celebrate you, Ispin. Good travels, friend, and until we meet again. And slowly you can see everyone is staring, watching the boat in complete silence. There are tears. Some couples are hugging themselves, You see small groups sharing small stories, nods, smiles. Although there are tears, there are still smiles in the group. And eventually, Becklin invites everyone who wishes to partake in a reception back at the Brass Crab for an opportunity for you to share stories about the dearly departed. So, as you go back to the pub, Becklin recounts one of her stories of her, Cudgel, and Ispin Greenshield on an adventure against 3 ogres and a troll, a 2-headed troll. Ispin never did anything simple. He would always find the hard way to do it and the adventures to go with it. As you look around the crowd, she comes to you, Hawk, first of all, and asks you to share, if you would, one of your stories.
Well, what can I say about Ispin? Probably just tell you how I met Ispin, really. He was a friend of my parents. So I actually met him when I was like 5 years old. He taught me how to fight with a wooden sword and a shield. And he used to visit us in the summer. After he'd done his adventures, he used to tell me all about his adventures. He was actually the reason that I went to night school, because he said he saw something in me, some sort of, I don't know, greater calling or something. I never bought into it myself, to be honest. But I went to night school and I did the first couple of years, learned some tricks, and then he came to visit me one day and he said, "How you doing?" And I said, "Well, I love learning all the bits and pieces, but I'm feeling constrained this bit." And he said, "Well, what do you want to do?" And I said, "I don't know. I feel a pull. I feel a pull to the ocean." And he said, "Well, take this." And he gave me a coin. And he called it the coin of fate. I don't think it's magical. I've never had it tested. It just says yes on one side and no on the other. And I flipped the coin. And I said, yes, I leave. No, I stay. And yes came up. And the very next day, I packed up, jumped on the first ship in the harbour, right outside the crab, and away I went. And that was the last time I saw him. And he'll always be in my heart. Rest easy.
Becklin comes over. She grabs you by the shoulder, taps you on the shoulder. Thank you. That must have been. Thank you for sharing your stories. And you hear murmurs around, people brushing their tears away and murmuring, yeah, nodding their gratitude, and kind of again the salute goes up. Everyone has a drink. Someone in the back does this huge big. Someone in the background does this huge big belch. People start like kind of turning around. And Shilling, do you have a story?
I do. Ispin was a great mentor to me, actually. And he stopped me from doing something quite terrible. When I was a bit younger, I was quite a vengeful person, let's say. And one night, a band of thieves broke into our home on the family estate. And they stole something very sentimental. And I tracked them to a ship. The same ship Ispin was on. And I wanted revenge, and I was about to do something terrible. But Ispin, he took me aside and warned me of the consequences of what my actions would be. And I did retrieve my belongings, and I left it as that. And yes, he's since guided me throughout the years. We stayed in touch. And yeah, if it wasn't for him, I think I would have been in a very dark place. Yeah, he's a very good man, was a very good mentor to me.
Very good. Becklin again comes over to you and hugs your shoulder. Thank you for sharing. And again, you hear sort of murmurs. Another flagon of ale goes up. You see kind of the nods and smiles from everyone else. In the background, someone shouts, "What a load of bollocks!" As it continues.
I scowled him.
And then before Becklin has time, you see a dwarf. This is Cudgel. A few months who you saw at who helped Becklin lower the boat down. She comes over to everyone. She goes, "Did you ever find those fees, lassie?" Lassie?
To me, sorry.
Did you ever find those thieves?
I did, yes.
And what was the thing that they took from you?
It was a small piece of jewellery, very sentimental, not valuable at all.
And you
But I
got it
wanted it
back?
back. I did.
Well, if it ever goes missing again, I'm Cudgel. I'm Cudgel the Iron Smile.
Okay.
My mercenaries are always available to track down any no good thieves.
Thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
Always happy to. And off she trots. She's a very happy dwarf. She goes off to meet everyone else. Bakaris, do you have something you'd like to say? Or to share with the audience?
So he sits up from his chair and looks around and kind of directly as if he's already tired of being in this tavern full of people. But he's dressed in where earlier his traveling clothes were a little too fancy. His clothes for this occasion are they are shades of blue and gold. Some gold that may not be as shiny as you would expect, but maybe, he just had an off day. And he stands and he goes, "Yes, Ispin. That man loved to tell his stories. But if you heard him, as Becklin said, there was a story about the two-headed troll. Well, one time," and he begins leaning, and you can tell he's had a lot to drink this evening. "Well, one time, I killed a three-headed troll, and that's all we would talk about is how he killed a two-headed troll, and I was the one who no one talks about. My family's known," and he just goes on this long rant about how his story is so much better, and it's very embellished and full of so much bravado that those who he's been traveling with would know he could handle himself, but he did not do that much. And then he goes, "Even the last few days of travel, I fought off an army almost of creatures." And he is just, and then he goes, "But Ispin was a knight. And for that, I must say, Godspeed, brother." And he steps away.
Cool. Very good. Again, there's kind of slight weird murmurs in the audience, kind of like, yeah, was this really about Ispin? But they kind of toasted it anyway. Some part to let you leave. Again, there's a kind of noise in the background. So, heard it all before. Becklin comes over to Grom next. Grom, I believe that was your name.
Yes, it
Do you
is.
have a story you would like to share with us?
For the first time, you'll see Grom seem a bit nervous, a bit apprehensive, right? I'll slowly kind of walk up to the stage, kind of head sort of looking down, kind of staring down at the ground, and slowly look up. Ispin was a friend. He returned something to me one time that was of great importance, and I don't know how he came about it. I don't even know how he knew it was mine. But he did the right thing, and he brought it back to its rightful owner. And Grimmel and Ispin was a good man. And he just kind of like wanders, like kind of almost like staring into space, like kind of just wanders right off the stage and back into the crowd. And you'll see, I'll look for a back door and just try to leave.
Okay, that's fine. You can take it back to us. Fine. Everyone apart from Grom and Bakaris, make a perception check for me, please. First dice roll of the session. Highest wins.
16.
16.
7.
Should have got 5.
Ooh.
Not very perceptive for a rogue.
21.
21. Okay, Hawk, from your wherever you're hanging out after you've been hearing these stories, you find that you do this naturally anyway. There's a natural ability to scan people's faces as you watch the crowd. One, there's obviously there's a heckler somewhere at the back of the crowd, but you've had that before. That's fine. But one face seems to stand out because it's blue. It is that of a young blue female elf.
Do I recognize them any more than seeing it's a blue female elf?
No. You, being a sailor, you know that there are such things in this world as sea elves or underwater elves, sea elves. Extremely rare to see them, but again, this is a village, a small town located on
The sea.
On the sea,
yeah. Who am I standing near?
You always go back to your sister.
Am I standing near anyone in the group?
If you wish to be. So
yeah,
Grom has left. Bakaris is drunk.
I'll wander over to Jorg and sort of in a nonchalant way, you know, like, so not just march over there, but actually sort of like wander over there as if I'm going to toast to Ispin or something. And I'll raise my glass and I say, Jorg, there's a strange, I think it's a sea elf at the back of the bloody thing. I've not seen one, but I've heard about them.
Can you believe he's trying to palm off what we did yesterday as his own work? And the magistrate.
Yeah, I say, Jorg, Bakaris has got issues. I think we should let that one slide.
Sorry, you were saying there's a sea elf.
Yeah, at the back there's a. I know I've never seen one in the flesh, but I have heard my shipmates talk about them. I got to admit, I never really believed they existed because they talked about them in the same sentence as mermaids. But you know, now I've seen one at the back, I can't believe that it's real, and I think it's a sea elf, and it's a bit unusual because, as far as I know, from what I've heard, they don't come ashore very often, and they definitely don't go into crowds.
Well, maybe we keep an eye then. I mean, I guess Ispin knew a lot of people. I don't know. I haven't seen them. Keep an eye out, I guess.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm going to see if I can slowly make my way back there and see. I don't know. Maybe I'll just ask her what she's doing. Maybe I'll just be friendly. So with that, I am going to stealth my way through the crowd to the back, not right directly next to the supposed sea elf.
You're gonna make your move and.
Yeah. Let me just roll. Oh, you. 18 plus 6.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, without disturbing anyone. People are still talking. There's other people going up as well, sharing their stories with the group, and you kind of manage to gently weave around the crowd. Again, with each time there's someone's story. There's either fart noises, belch noises, someone lagging off the speaker and stuff. Always seems to be coming from the same direction.
If
But
I
you
ever
make your
pass
way-
anyone who's doing that, I slap them on the back of the head as I'm going past.
You can do that if you wish. You see someone who's dressed in very refined red, a red outfit with a white undershirt, blonde hair. He's young. He's in his kind of early 20s, if that, but very hoity-toity, showing off the bling in a kind of almost regal manner. And as you walk past, you wanna slap the back of his head.
Yeah, and as I do that, I like slip between the person behind him, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I slap him and then slip behind the person behind him, so that if he turns around, he thinks it's the person standing behind him that did it.
Yeah. Immediately he stands up, turns around. Who the hell would have that? And shoves his drink into the person's face who's standing there. How dare you do that to me? And he starts to buy me another drink. Insults. Okay, you can carry on your way to your target.
Yeah, I'll
or you
try and get as close. Is she actually standing in the back of the crowd, or is she standing back from the crowd?
She is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's kind of part of the back of the crowd.
Yeah, so she's in the back line, as it was.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Right, so yeah, I'll try and shuffle up as best I can next to her without her noticing, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
And then as somebody starts to tell a story at the front, I'll sort of like lean over into her and say, "Are you a seal?"
And immediately she's, what? Well,
Real subtle.
yes, I am. I wasn't expecting anyone to really take much notice of me, but why? Well, yes, I take it you're a sailor.
Yeah, I've heard stories about your kind. Can I buy you a drink?
No, I'm. One, I don't drink. And two, I'm here. I'm here on a purpose. I think, like you, I'm here to pay my respects to Ispin is I guess was a dear friend of mine.
Oh, I was hoping that was the case. Oh, it's always lovely to meet a friend of Ispin's. Yeah, were you close? How did you know him?
Well, I wouldn't say we were close, but I guess we knew of each other, and we kind of moved in similar circles. Yes, and you can see that every time she thinks about him, you can see that she's remembering him. There's that daydream, faraway look in her eye, and she picks it up.
I say, so Flynn leans closer to her a bit and he says, "Don't mourn the loss of Ispin. Rather celebrate what he did in his life and always remember him. And he's never truly dead. He'll always be in your heart. And here's to Ispin."
Your words, dear sir, are probably more true than you realise. And with that, she kind of manages to slip away. And
not surprising, because Flynn's had a skinful.
Becklin then moses on over to Fizzwiz, and she kind of kneels down, kneels one knee on the floor. And again, she's still got all her armor on, so it clanks and shakes as she does. And she says, "You're Fizzwiz, aren't you?"
Yeah, and Fizzwiz is He's actually stood like at a back wall, like trying to blend into the shadows and not really take part in anything. And obviously she's come over and the crowd's parted. And he's like, yes. It's his clock hand, and the hand goes out. And instead of being more enthusiastic like it was on the cart, it's just polite and gentle.
Yeah, and she takes your hand. Again, there's a gentle handshake, mutual respect. And says, "Do you wish to share a story?"
Yeah. Okay. And he starts moving his way from like this back wall through the crowd, and you can see that he's still wearing like these same traveler's clothes. They're cleaned up a bit. He's got those like striped vertical trousers on with the big belt buckle. And his hat is in his hands, and it's wrapped around like the handle of his quarterstaff. And he just holds it in front of him as he kind of like slowly moves forward, and then he stumbles and like almost falls over. And like as he like looks up in a panic, the first person that he makes eye contact with is like, "Sorry." And he kind of makes his way up to where Grom was on stage. And he looks nervous and unsure of himself, but he kind of like grips the hat really tight in his hands because he knows he can't put it on here. And you can see like the whites of his knuckle. And he and his right foot, you can see it like twisting back and forwards on its toes. And he begins to speak. Ispin knew my father. He used to visit us and ask my dad about magic in the forest. Dad liked him. I liked him. He was kind to us. And with a different body language of someone a bit more confident, his like chest pumps out and his voice clears. He never treats us as beneath him, but as equals, the sign of a good man. My dad would say. There's a long, sad pause, and then the foot stops twisting for a moment. And the room almost falls silent, frozen in time for a second. When Mum died, I didn't know who to turn to. With Dad missing, Ispin was the only person I knew away from home that I could think would have any idea where Dad was. I wrote to Ispin, and he said he didn't know where Dad went, but he told me to come to Vogler, but also to stop by the Barb Tower in Calampis so I could take the apprentice test to become a mage. He said that my father's magic was strong, but not one registered with the conclave, and if I were to train up, I could be like Dad. And in this moment of speaking, you can see he's lost himself again in the moment of pride. When he then re-looks at the crowd, his head goes back down, and the foot begins twisting on its toes again. Anyway, sorry. I knew Ispin, and I know my dad would have wanted to say goodbye. And there's a long pause where this young gnome clearly doesn't know what to say. And he turns and begins stepping off the stage, and he immediately falls flat on his face with like an echoing slap and a clatter of the quarterstaff hitting the floor. And he hurriedly gets up and collects his things. And
as you picking yourself back up off the floor, there's a huge laugh, guffle coming from that guy who was dressed in red. Did you see that? That wanker fell on his face, the little short ass.
Dave, I'm going to fling my mug of ale at him from the back of the thing. I will roll something to hit. I don't know what, but I'll roll it.
What should we do? Should we do a dexterity as a dexterity check to
I
aim
think so.
a thrown item?
Yeah. So it's 16 on dice plus 4.
That's good enough. So how do you want to do it?
Yeah, so it's only about half full because obviously I don't drink slow, being a sailor. But I luzz it at him from the back, and it just it like goes between other people's heads. It doesn't go over and like an arching. It actually goes between their heads, and yeah, as it whizzes past people's head, they're like, "What the fuck was that?" And then it smacks him in the back of the head, and it just goes.
Well, it would actually be. You're on in my head. You're on the other side. It actually hits him in the front.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It smacks him in the off his forehead. Bam! Everyone see it. It's like in slow motion. You hear a massive crack as his head slowly tips back and comes back. He's got this huge red mark, an instant impact mark. And you can see him, he's in disbelief. He's looking down at his palm of his hand. He's like, what the fuck? And what you see is, this is the, let's put him up on the screen. Here we go. This is what he looks like.
Oh, God.
He's a very kind of pompous looking, bit of swagger to him. He's got his sword. And he ignores everyone in the pub. And he fixes you. And he says, do you know who I am?
Yes, you're definitely a wanker.
Fizz is just like, he's like really embarrassed, but he's also like trying to apologize for falling over. And then he sees this happen. He's like, and the black
And you see
over
this guy in red. He immediately points to someone else in the crowd. He's like, Father, are you gonna let him do this to me?
And Lord Baccharis leans from his table and stands up and goes, I gave you a ride, you little twat. And he stands up and he very drunkenly walks over to Flynn and goes, how dare you throw something at my son?
Oh, God. Baccharis, the apple fell very far from the tree. Oh.
What?
What
Wait, I don't care. You, don't you ever treat my son with that indignity ever again.
Oh, he's disrespecting Ispin's funeral. Baccharis, come on.
Business will get between you both. And he's like, Lord Baccharis, I'm sorry, Flynn's obviously had a lot to drink. Come on, Flynn, let's go see your sister.
Not enough, boy.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. And he's like trying to like stop this and pull you away, but obviously he's probably not doing a great job of it.
It doesn't matter. I'm leaving this place. I didn't want to be here anyway. And he's just like fumbly like trying to walk out of the place as his son is probably Draco Malfoying away.
Yeah.
We'll hear about this.
and as they're going away, I turn to the rest and say, I went to school with him. He used to pick on everybody. I'm so glad I did that. And then I go get another flagon of ale and start drinking.
It was a good
For
shot.
once, you see a small smile crack over York's face as I stride across the bar and shake Flynn by the hand, probably for the first time ever.
Oh, York, you're going to join me? Come on.
I just might, Flynn. That was very honourable of you.
Ah, well, you know, you got to call out these things when they happen, because Ispin would have.
Yes.
And you hear behind you, and quite right so. Becklin is standing there. Iplin never liked bullies, so I think he would have been proud if he's watching us. If he's looking down on us right now, I think he would have been proud. And might I invite you all? And she kind of gets you all together. Grom's not there, Baccharis isn't there. I said, join me for breakfast. I would like. There is something that Ispin has left for you. Join me for breakfast. I'll be at the Thornwell Keep. I'm sure you saw it on your way into town earlier today.
I know it.
Thank you, Hawk. If you could bring your friend Grom with you as well. Let's leave Baccharis to sleep it off, if you're happy to do that. Now,
of course, I don't blame. This is like the opposite of the sins of the father, isn't it? Sins of the sons do not translate to the father. Yeah.
Well, time will tell. Now, York, did you also know Ispin Greenshield? Would you like to share a story before the evening comes to a close?
Yes, I know Ispin. I met Ispin when I was 12 years old, in fact. He tutored the children at the Calaman group home where I grew up. It was his stories, funny enough, of the Knights of Salamnia that inspired my own life choices in seeking a place amongst their ranks. For what better way is there for a boy with no name of his own to earn one through his deeds? It was the evening of my 16th birthday and the day before I left to begin my journey to the Isle of St. Chris that Ispin shared with me the story of how he earned his own nickname. And I'd like to share that story with you now. Some of it is even true. Far to the east of the continent of Ansalon lay a small town called Willowwood. Willowwood began its existence as a small settlement of 5 families, all intent on creating a life of their own out on the frontier. It sat on the edge of a great and ancient forest. They got by, surviving on tending the forest, farming and trading timber. For a long while, life went on in this fashion, unremarkably. That was until one of the families, the foresters, discovered a new type of tree. One that yielded a timber that was light as silk, yet strong as steel. They called this timber Wispwood, and began to trade it far and wide, as much as they could find, though these particular trees were rare and difficult to find. The price of the timber was therefore high, and much coin began to flow into the town. Willowwood began to soon grow and expand. Families were able to afford a little bit of luxury now. Merchants moved in, and a proper town square was built. Homes were improved, and businesses expanded. Generations passed, and life went on. Wispwood grew rarer still. In greed, expeditions were sent deeper into the forest to search for new sources. That's when the strangeness began. Whispers in the wind, workers found catatonic and unresponsive, workers wandering in the woods only to be never seen again. Eventually, there was slaughter. A whole work party mutilated and hung from the trees as a warning. At this point, enough was enough. The town council sent out word to the kingdoms far and wide for aid, and such was the importance of Wispwood that none other than a party of knights was dispatched to Willowwood to deal with these mysteries. The party was 6 strong in total, 5 knights of Salamnia, led by Sir Arginon, and rounded out by his new squire, a boy called Telamon. The morning they rode into Willowwood to present themselves was a scene out of a tragedy. Buildings were aflame, homes and businesses were crushed and shattered. Something large, strong and angry had passed through the town square the night before and wreaked havoc. The wounded, dead and dying lay in the streets tended by whomever was still standing, yet too exhausted to help with the bucket line. Desperately, the townsfolk tried to get the fires under control, and they looked on gratefully when the knights dismounted and lent their strength to the endeavour. Eventually things were settled and brought under control, enough for the knights to seek out the mayor and be briefed on the situation of the night before. Several large creatures had stormed out of the forest and began attacking structures and people alike, causing chaos and damage in equal measure. The attack lasted only a short while, but the town was not prepared for such an offensive and slow to rouse any resistance. As quickly as the attack started, it was over. The creatures fled back into the forest towards the west, leaving devastation in their wake. A few people tried to follow at dawn, but as soon as they reached the edge of the old wood, the tracks disappeared. "Evil! 'Tis pure evil!" shouted the mayor to drive home his point. Now, while all of this was going on, and unbeknownst to the knights, they were being observed from a distance. A young son of the Forrester family, a boy of only 12, had been tending the wounded when they rode into town that fateful morning. He had grown up hearing stories of the knights and had become slightly obsessed with their deeds. He was an adventurous lad, always exploring the forest, following new trails and paths, always pushing that bit further into the old forest, always desperate to know what was just around the next bend. In truth, his tracking skills were excellent, and he was easily capable of foraging and looking after himself. One thing he knew for certain was that he had no interest in going into the family lumber business. No, his fate lay in the wider world, seeking out adventure and performing great feats. The sort of feats that would be told in stories for years to come. As he saw that knights had finished with the mayor and were moving towards the edge of town square, towards where the monsters had headed into the old forest, he decided to shadow them. Surely they could use his assistance. There was no finer tracker than he, and knights on horseback would struggle to make any headway through the densest parts of the forest. Yes, they would welcome him with open arms. He followed them for a few hours, being sure to remain unseen until they reached the edge of the old forest, and began to wander aimlessly, having obviously lost the tracks. He moved in closer until he began to hear grumblings and mutterings, the overheated and frustrated curses mostly emanating from the largest knight of the group, a giant of the man who he learned was called Sir Lindenstone, though, he learned later, others mostly just referred to him as Whale, due to both his size and his propensity to do just that, wail and moan. The boy shinned up a tree and made his final approach, dropping down unseen and unexpected just a few feet from Lord Arginon himself. He straightened up as much as he could, thrust his hand forward, and with a slight bow confidently announced, "Good day, fine knights. I am Ispin Forrester. I have been dispatched here by the mayor to aid you in your search. I am the town's finest tracker, scout, and hunter. I can assure you that my skills backing you up will defeat these foul beasts in no time at all. Now, your horses will of course need to—" "How old are you, boy?" exclaimed Lord Algernon loudly. "Why, 16, sir," lied Ispin efficiently. "Poppycock! Talamon here is just 16, and you stand about just half his size. You must be pushing 10 or 11 at most. Off home with you, boy. We don't need to nursemaid any children. We've got business to attend to." "Yeah, we don't need any Greenwood, Forrester. We've got enough green in Talamon here." That last comment was thrown in for good measure by the grumbling Sir Lindenstone. Lord Arginon had turned away and returned to the search, completely disregarding young Ispin. However, Ispin wasn't deterred. Despite the laugh from the rest of the knights at Well's comments, determination ran through him. He just needed to win their respect with deeds, not words. Ispin cleared his throat loudly. "If I could just direct Sir's attention to that tree over there, the rowan, yes, that's right, that one there. I think you'll find that some of the upper branches have been disturbed. Clear as day when you know what you're looking for, of course, but you won't find it running around staring at the ground." With a look, Lord Arginon dispatched one of the knights to check out Ispin's observations. After a few minutes, the knight returned and confirmed that Ispin was correct, and the trail continued into the forest. Ispin decided to push home the advantage. "Of course, you'll need to leave your horses here. They won't make it through the thickest parts of the forest, which means leaving most of your equipment and supplies behind. You'll need me to find shelter and food that won't poison you. As the mayor said to me when I headed out, 'Look after them, lad. The town's future is depending on them.' The town's future, Lord Arginon, your very mission. We wouldn't want to put that in jeopardy, now would we?" "You've got some balls, boy. For now, let's keep that in check, shall we?" Lord Arginon reached up and removed his helm to wipe away some of the sweat. Sighing loudly, he continued, "You will stick by Talamon's side at all times. You will guide us in tracking, finding shelter and food. You will stay out of the way at all other times, and under no circumstances get involved in any combat. Is that clear?" "Yes, sir," replied Ispin. A loud exclamation from Sir Lindenstone. "Lord, you must be joking. We aren't seriously taking Greenwood with us. I'm not nursemaiding some brat." "Shut up, Lindenstone, and get in line. You heard my orders. Knights, gather what you can carry and tether the horses. We follow young Ispin here until the job is done." Off they went, the party of 6 following Ispin into the old forest in search of monsters. What followed was several days of mundanity, futile searching and following of tracks. They covered many miles, made camp, and ate what they could. Greenwood was pretty much used ubiquitously when any of the knights referred to Ispin, save for Lord Arginon and Telamon, both of whom were quietly impressed with the young boy's skills. Toward the end of the 8th day, however, they chanced upon a clearing. Circular, roughly 150 feet in diameter, it was enclosed by 6 of the largest whisperwood trees Ispin had ever seen. They would be worth tens of thousands of steals each, if not more. Ispin made a mental note of roughly where they were. The family would be delighted to hear this news and may even forgive him for disappearing as he had. He was not looking forward to that reckoning at all. It was decided they would make camp, and everyone performed their roles, and soon everything was set. They ate, rested, and set watch as usual. The fire was tended to provide a little light, and wood stored adjacent in case it needed to be stoked. In case of emergency, Telamon advised. Soon the sun had set, and it was time to sleep. Ispin soon drifted off. He was rudely awoken by shouts of "Alarm! Alarm! Fey attack! Knights to me!" He saw with practiced efficiency the knights leap from their slumber and move towards the sentry. They grabbed sword and shield with such speed, but by the time he had rubbed sleep from his eyes, they were already preparing to do battle. The fire was stoked up and a good blaze beginning to form. He looked over at Telamon, already standing with sword and shield. "Up through the Ispin, and keep behind me. Stay alert. Looks like we've found your monsters." and he gestured towards the edge of the clearing. Ispin saw the 6 wispwood trees all moving like giant wooden skeletons towards their camp. The thing about a battle is it is hard to describe after the event. Great deeds were done, no doubt. Epic maneuvers, desperate swings, selfless sacrifice. However, in the moment there is only chaos, screams, fire and blood. Parts run in slow motion, others in flashes of lucidity amongst the noise. All I can say is the knights fought with practice efficiency, but were outnumbered. This left Telemon facing off with one of the huge monsters alone. His fighting skills were good, the greatest young Ispin had seen, unfortunately not a match for the giant tree that was his opponent. As he became wearied from blocking the massive blows from the creature, he miscued, taking hits square to the chest. Losing his grip on his shield, Telemon was felled, thrown back a clear 10 feet and laying stupefied upon the ground. The creature, seeing its chance, stepped forwards to put an end to the now undefended Telemon. Fortunately, the shield had fallen at Ispin's feet, and seeing his friend in danger, he did not hesitate to pick it up. Taking a two-handed grip, as it was the only way he could hold the weight, he rushed forwards to aid Telemon. Interposing himself between the creature and the prone Telemon, he blocked one bow, clang, and then another, clang, and then another, clang. Enough for Telemon to get to his feet and slash out with a low blow to the creature's legs. It cut deep, and the creature lurched backwards in shock. Seeing an opening, Ispin raised the shield and with the angled lower edge, drove it deep into the creature's ankle. Both him and Telemon pushed with all their might, amazingly pushing the creature over. With the crash of a felled tree, the creature was now prone, and with a shout, the rest of the knights, having defeated their own monsters, rushed to hack and slice the creature to death. Once it was done, Ispin looked down to see he still held Telemon's shield tightly in both hands. Its front covered almost entirely in bright green ichor from the defeated monster. From across the field came a laugh and a shout from Sir Lindenstone. Ha! Greenwood no more, boy! Sir Greenshield from now on. After that, wounds were tended, the creature set aflame and the party set off home. There were some reckonings and celebrations to be sure, but that is not the point of this telling. This story has been about the earning of a name, solely through one's deed, an inspiration that will stick with me for the rest of my life. When I heard of Ispin's death, I put in notice to attend this funeral. As I prepared to leave, I was approached by the old courtmaster of St. Christophe, a knight by the name of Sir Telemon, rumoured to have the finest shield work in the order. We spoke a few words and he acknowledged he knew Ispin but shared no details. His final words to me were, "A light has gone out in this world with Ispin's passing. Take this with you to the funeral. He earned it." He handed me his badge, the one that a knight earns when he takes up the title. And that is how at least I know part of Ispin's story is true. And with that I turn to the bar and I hammer the badge into the surface, turn back to the crowd and say, "I present to you Sir Ispin Greenshield, Knight of the Willowwood."
Becklin stands there next to you and does a swift bow in agreement, and she says, "You're rather I thought you'd be the quiet type, George. It was very well recounted." You take a moment to see that a lot of the crowd has gone. They've politely left, making their excuses as they were leaving the evening. It's a very, very good story, yes.
You see Flynn wander over to Jorg and say, "Are you okay?"
What?
Are you okay? You look a little bit like you weren't breathing when you said that.
Was I not delivering in the fashion of Ispin? I was trying to channel him.
It was absolutely brilliant. But I remember Ispin having a lot more dramatic pauses. That's all.
He had flair. He was a
I absolutely
storyteller.
salute you. I salute you.
Yes.
You did really well.
Yeah, a drink for Jorg. Come on, everybody. And anybody that's still there, I sort of command them to raise their glass.
There's not many.
Yeah. To Jorg.
Jorg.
And then the pub starts to close up, and as the last few people in the Brass Crab leave, Beckley makes her excuses and leaves as well. She says, "I hope I do see you. Do join me for breakfast. I hope to see you there. Please do join us."
I'm sure we'll have more stories tomorrow.
Yes, indeed, and we'll pick up from there. So the night passes uneventful. You got your own rooms. Everything is hunky dory, and you wake up in the morning to see the village has woken up at the crack of dawn. The preparations for the Kingfisher Festival in full swing. The bits and pieces that you see as you wake up and head around town. Let's see if this works. Zoop. There you go.
Can we click the long
The
rest
Kingfisher Festival. It's it's a beautiful sunny day here in Vogler. The buzz is up. The bands are already practicing and playing. Children are running around like completely insane on sugar highs, and that's before breakfast. But they love this time of year.
They must be having English chocolate.
Yes. So the town is completely abuzz with festive energy. This morning, as locals set up stalls and hang decorations. Ahead, the road to Thornhill Keep climbs a low hill toward an ancient edifice, slightly ghostly in the morning mist. And you hear behind you, "Good morning, Becklin's friends. Hi. Can you see me? Hi.
Hello?
Hello?
I'm glad I caught you." And you see this from a shop doorway steps a young man. Is no more than sort of 20 years old. He has a sword at his hip, a cloth sack in his arm. He's carrying kind of like brown paper bag kind of things rolled over, and he shouts at you. He says, I'm Darrett. I'm Becklin's student. I hope you haven't had breakfast already."
Nope, still drinking
we're
on the
good.
grog from last night.
Well, I'm surely that'd be cold for you by now. But please do come. Look, I've got donuts. I've got bacon rolls. I've got meat pies. Just come with me. I'd love to hear all your stories.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. Have we got any reason to not follow this young chap?
No.
Okay. So you hurry on to Thornhill Keep, and there you see there are. Let's get. There we go. There you see there are. This is not exactly an ancient castle. This is a keep that has fallen in disarray over many years. There are veins of bronze-coloured ivy that cling to Thornhill's Keep. There's ancient 3-story stone tower, which is easily the tallest structure in all of Vogler. From its crenellated roof rises an elaborate device that you can kind of see the top of. It sort of resembles a bit of a catapult. And then various crumbling ruins of walls and other fallen structures around the keep. And amid them lie several kind of shallow dug square pits with like pegs with lines of string, which are basically kind of covered excavation sites.
Ah, right.
Darrett takes you into one of the rooms as he's there and starts to lay out some plates and the buns. Come on, Becklin to be here any moment. Do dig in and share.
Bacon.
How
Let me try this.
how do you know Becklin? Are you like her squire or a knight?
Well,
Knight.
yeah. Well, no, I'm not a knight yet. I hope to be one day. That's why I'm kind of her student, but I guess I am a squire. But Becklin is a little bit more laid back than I've heard. But yes, but thank you for asking. Thank you. Yes, I'm
Is she a
Darrett.
good
Darrett
teacher?
Highwater. Oh, she's the best. She's
Hi.
definitely the best, and she lets
Bismarck.
me. Hi, and shakes your hand. yeah, she lets me stay here, and I help her in all the things that we do, and yes, as we like to say in the knighthood, my and he stands up straight. You see, he puts his legs together and he stands up straighter and chin up, and he puts his hand across his heart and says, "Yes, my honor is my life."
Ooh. You're going to get along fine with York, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we tried to say it properly though, don't we, Derek? It's Est Solaris of Mythos.
Yes, sorry. Becklin did tell me about you, George.
Good start, son. He doesn't like that.
Yes, Becklin's teachings are a little bit more maybe laid back. No, not slack at all. No, she's a great hero. Everyone here loves her, and people around here don't particularly like knights because of there's a certain distrust with us. But they've come to trust Becklin because she's helped out the village and she took me in. For me as a child, I was abandoned, and the town took me in, and the town raised me. And when Becklin was here, she gave me a purpose. So, yes, but she's certainly not slack.
Okay. Well, the oath is important, but we mustn't forget the measure. Rules are rules.
Yes, I completely agree.
Yes. So
And
your
with that-
assignment for today, Derek, will be to learn the phrase properly. Est Solaris of Mythos. See me later, and we can practice.
Yes, and he kind of looks a bit down, like I wanted to go out and play, kind of thing. The festivities of Kingfisher Festival, which only comes around once a year, but he's like, okay, I will do as you ask.
Mr. Highwater, Darren, Mr. Highwater.
I'm no mister, but thank you.
Well, why are knights distrusted here? Are they not meant to be loyal and do what's right? Like, York always tries to help people, and helping people is good. But
it is. It's not because of that. It's because of what happened hundreds of years ago with the whole cataclysm. The knights are still blamed for what not exactly what they did, but what they didn't do by stopping the cataclysm, and a lot of people around here still the knights are kind of frowned upon.
Huh.
But Becklin has helped to change that.
Sorry, coincidence is always an interesting thing to me. It's the cataclysm. It's the second time I've come across this terminology in so many few days.
Yep.
I know of the cataclysm, but what role did the knights have in this? I don't feel that this is by chance that I would hear something of this twice in so many days. If you could enlighten me, please.
Yes, well, the knights worked for the high priest of Istar, the high clerist. And because of that, a long time ago, the gods basically threw a mountain at them and killed them all. Because I guess their pride and their greed got too much for them.
Oh, wow.
And
A
the
mountain.
knights kind of served them. And there was an opportunity for, I don't know, I guess people put their trust into something, and when it doesn't pay off, it can be subverted. But since that time, people have been very distrustful. It's changing. I mean, Calaman has a full regiment and a fully stocked garrison of knights. That's the closest one to us. And of course, Pananthus, where I believe Becklin said that you came from. So,
Yeah.
it's just, this is a very small village.
Do you know Calaman very well?
Not really, no. I've done on errands.
Do you know anyone called Wyhan?
No, sorry, I don't. Are they a knight?
No, I think they'll have something to do with the mages of high sorcery, I believe. Yorg, if you're, do you need to go to Calaman to do anything with the knights? I mean, I don't know. I need to go there, and I didn't know if maybe because you were a knight, maybe we could go together.
Well, we have delivered the message regarding the Draconians to Becklin. Keep going to say Belkin. To Becklin. So that part of our mission is done, if you like. I do need to restock and get some armor before we travel back. But I'm happy to accompany you to Calaman. I have no particular reason to go there, but I can accompany you. No problem. I don't know the person you're looking for, but I do know Calaman.
Oh, cool. I don't know if there's a tower there or not, but maybe that could be a good place to start. And he pulls out from his bag this scroll that has these red, white, and black bands around it. I was given this the night before we met, and I have to deliver it to somebody that is there called Wyham. I just didn't know if they were knights, and you're a knight, and I didn't know if that's where you were going, and maybe perchance I could join you. But yeah, it'd be great to have company.
I'm happy to, Fizzwiz.
I don't know about the rest of you. I don't know what your plans are after this, but I have to deliver this. I think it's the next step for me on my journey. My journey.
I go where the wind blows me, Fizz. I wouldn't mind joining you on that journey.
Same as me.
I've never been there, so it would be nice to visit.
Yeah. I'm not due back home anytime soon, so I've got some time to kill.
Oh, that would be awesome. I've really enjoyed traveling with you all. It's been fun. Minus the fight.
York, on the armour situation, I might be able to get you a discount at the local armourers because I know the guy who runs it. His name is Dave. He's a really solid fella. And it'll probably do you a good deal on a new set of armour if you want to go there and look.
Dave's a weird name.
Thank you, Flynn.
I once asked him about his name, Fizz, and he said he was from another bloody world or something. He said he was from another dimension. I don't know what he was talking about anyway. But, he's a nice guy. He loves his ale. And he'd probably do you a good deal on a set of armour.
Well, we are normally stocked up by the armourers at the night garrisons. I'm hoping that garrison here is big enough. If not, then I will head over to Calaman.
Darrett,
yes, it's. Thank you for mentioning it.
Darrett butts in there. Says, "Oh, well, this is the garrison." George.
I look around, frowning.
Yog.
And on that note, Becklin re-enters the room, carrying a shallow wooden box, approximately, it says, 3 feet to a side. She sets it down gently on the table, and she just kind of stands back from the table, looks at you all, kind of nods to herself, and you see a smile creep onto her face. And she says, Ispin left this for all of you. But it comes with a condition. Since he won't be attending the Kingfisher Festival this year, he wanted you all to participate for him. Specifically, he had hoped you'd take his place during the reenactment of the Battle of High Hill. Every year he looked forward to participating in dying in an even more ludicrous way than the year before. you see Becklin smile at the memory as she opens the box, and inside, revealing a round green shield. The shield itself has the picture of a broadleaf tree. It's all painted a mossy green, and slashed across the tree is some kind of scar mark from a previous battle. Now, as all of you instantly see this green shield, you all remember, you all recall Ispin's story, where he told you that he was given the shield by a unicorn in the far-off forest of Darkenwood. Wood. And as I can see, Beckley looks around, and you all got smiles on your faces. I see it. You must remember the same tale. So
Yeah, Flint just mutters under his breath, "Bloody unicorn."
Have you ever seen one? They're great. Oh, sorry. Sad moment.
I know they don't carry around shields, Fizz.
No. Beautiful voices, though. Hand kind of like touches the shield.
So, would you all be able to take part in the reenactment?
Yeah, don't see why not.
She begrudgingly says yes because she doesn't like being in the limelight, but it's for Ispin, so she'll do it.
It's just like, I don't know what help I can be, but sure.
Well, if you don't wish to partake in the reenactment, you could always be a judge. We always need people to, there are accidents. People will trip over in their armor or accidentally get a bump in the head. It's all in fun. It's all in good cheer. People will be wearing, using wooden swords, toy swords, that kind of thing. And sometimes the people will drink too much. And so you go around waving a little flag, and when someone sees the flag, you can run up. When someone hurts themselves, you run over with the flag, and you stand there and wave it, and a medic or someone will be over to help you.
Okay, she then offers to be a judge. She thinks that's more that type of thing.
Very good, Shilling. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll go with you, Shilling, if that's okay. I don't think I'll be good.
Very good, Fizzbus. Thank you.
I'll step forward. I shall take part in the reenactment.
I will expect nothing less,
take part.
Jorge. And of you, Hawk? I'd imagine that you will meet Lord Baccharis on the front line. He and his family, his great-grandfather, I believe. No, his great-great-grandfather. So the story of the Battle of the Hill is one of a few versus many. So there were the legions of Ishtar came across, and there was only a few Solamnic men and women who stood together. Some were knights, some were farmers, and they stood shoulder to shoulder. They had the high ground, and they managed to hold off wave after wave after wave of the Istarians. And it is called the Battle of High Hill. It's how we remember the founders of Vogler. Many are buried there. And some say Garrett butts in at this place at this point and kind of very excitedly says that, some say it's still haunted as well. And Beckley says, yes, Darren, it's not haunted.
And what have you got? There is a little fear on Fizzbuz's face. I don't know if anybody can see it, but when you say haunted, he is like, he will probably grab his hand, just as he squeezes it slightly.
Oh, have you never seen a ghost, Fizz?
No. I don't think I want to either. No. It's not for me.
I once happened upon an entire ship that was crewed by ghosts. Bloody scary. Apart from the fact that I was pissed on grog at the time. But,
I was just about to say, I'm sure the only spirits you saw that day were from a bottle, Flynn.
Should have just rolls her eyes. Oh God, not this again.
No,
No,
Shilling, you were there. You were there.
Everyone was there, Flynn. Everyone.
Yeah, seen some real ghosts though. They're not anything to worry about.
No.
You'll see Grom look up. You'll see Grom look up, and he's been extremely quiet all morning. And well, I mean, I guess I'll help in any way I can. So, need another judge, then I'll go that way. If you need me on the field, then I can.
The choice is well. The choice is yours, Grom.
The choice is yours.
What a choice it is.
Well, why don't
Grom,
you?
I think you'd be better by my side, mate. I've seen you in battle, and I like what I see.
Yeah,
Well,
you were good the other day. You should fight.
It's not like it's real anyway. It's
All
wooden
right.
swords.
All right, Fizz. All right, Flynn. I'll come with you then. I'll just look back down and start eating again.
And who is going to take the shield? What I'll do, I'll let you deliberate for a second. I'm just going to grab something. I'll let you deliberate, and we'll continue. So, Steve, your gate. Tell another story.
I've got one.
Shit, he's going to be that.
Steve, it's your train set.
Well, obviously, York should take the shield since he kind of followed Ispin in his knightly ways. So I think Ispin should, York should take it. Yeah,
And I'm
Clearly,
okay with that. I've already got a shield right here.
And with the only person here who have any military experience, of course, I should be. I'm sure Ispin used to lead the reenactment. So yes,
This
it's
will,
only fitting that I
lucky-
bear the shield and replace him.
Yeah, it's just like I can make my own now, and then you watch as he like does like a little magic that he pulls from his wand that's at his side, and these like ethereal moonlights just kind of like start to circle in front of him and form this like shield, and he can then just like grab it, and he's like, see.
Okay, so
Well,
who's had the shield?
I am.
Okay. So just for you then, Steve, it is basically it's Ispin's signature shield. You can make a note of that however you wish.
Okay.
It is a shield +1.
Nice.
a green shield.
So you make small talk for a little bit, finish off your breakfast, and then you start to hit the town, the festivities. There's a whole variety of games available to you. There you see colourful banners, paper decorations shaped like kingfishers decorate the village circle, temporary stalls that selling food, colourful crafts, and in the centre of the circle there's an ancient tree provides shade for happy picnickers. From a temporary stage, a band of local musicians brings the spirited song to a close as Mayor Raven Vogler takes the stage. She says, "Welcome, friends." Raising her arms up high, welcome to the Kingfisher Festival. There are cheers and applause erupt from the full circle. The mayor smiles widely. Today is a day of not only revelry, but also reflection. We are all here thanks to the courage of heroes who came before us. Let us honour our founders, our family, and all those who can't be here to celebrate today. Enjoy your festival, Vogler, with good spirits, good times, and good friends. And look to the Kingfishers for good luck. There's a huge round of applause and cheers follows the mayor's words. And she says, with that, the Kingfisher Festival is officially underway. So you spend the rest of the day, we're going to kind of fast forward. We spend the rest of the day playing games. Hawk, you can catch up with your sister, playing games, eating food, drinking contests, fishing contests. Shilling and Fizzwiz, you go off to see the judges' panels up on High Hill. They keep you out with like a tabard, and you get a series of flags each to hold, and you get the lay of the land for those bits and pieces. Bucharest is there in the middle of town as the procession. People start to gather in the middle of the circle. Bucharest is there at the front of the line, and you have a mismatch of things. You can see that Cudgel's ironclad band of mercenaries are there, all in fitted outfits, matching outfits, while the Vogler militia, some have pots and pans on their heads, but everyone is carrying wooden swords, wooden shields. Some even have wooden helmets as they slowly make their way from the center of town all the way up to through the woods and fields. It's about it's a mile outside of town. The parade of Michelin members, reenactment spectators, all go with you. They're all shouting and cheering. There are toffee apples and lollipops and bubbles going off everywhere. The grassy slope, and what I'll do is I'll switch for the players here. What I'm going to do is switch the map around for you all. Let's bring on this one. It may take a moment before it appears on your windows. Do let me know if you have any issues.
Got it.
Got it. Good. Right, let's bring it up for you all watching at home too. Here we go. So you can see this is the top of the hill. There is a tree. This thing that looks like flames, that's just like the edges of the battle. That's all the crowd watching you, all getting in positions. Families, children running around. Some are trying to. Some have bandanas on to try to look like Flynn. He's become a bit of a local legend in the past 24 hours since he's been here. And at the bottom of the hill, you start to see the ironclad regiment get into some formation. As you can see, the soldiers all getting very regimented. They are trained mercenaries. They know what they're doing. Now, although on the map it only says George and Bucharest, you've got your own militia around you. Okay. At the top here, Fizzwiz and Shilling. You're off to the side. You can be one on each side if you wish. You can pick. I'll let you decide where you are. You are judges after all. Grom and Hawk, where do you wish to be? I will say that Bucharest is still leading the way, but you can all position yourselves wherever you wish to be. Assuming the tokens still work for you, because we had problems with this last time.
Yeah, they seem to be working, which is good news. I would probably be up with Jorg just behind him.
Yep, in the shade of the tree. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to go right back up here.
Yep. That is a wall
We
in
want to
front
go
of you
far
as well.
left, so we got one on each side.
How tall is that wall?
Sounds good.
Let's say about 4 foot. It's not a big wall. It's a crumbly wall.
Okay, then I'm going to get right up next to it, but still behind it.
Yeah. If it makes any difference, this. I was going to say that's the drinks van.
This was on the drinks van. He's
Maybe I should have said I'd be there.
Right, yeah. Just said that
I was
first.
going to say, it was like, I think so short.
Okay, everybody happy with their choices?
Yep.
So yeah.
Cool. So you see, again, everyone is getting into position. Everyone's getting ready. Near the base, let's just bring it up again. So you can see near the base.
I'm eyeing Hawk very like out the side of my eye. Like
he's just behind you as well. He's just kind of over there. Like yeah. So
I sort of flick a look to Bucharest, like what?
and also his son is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
So it is just Bucharest that you see. So near the base, you see several dozen soldiers, all in matching armor, stand in even formation. The contrast, as I said before, is striking between these mercenaries of the Ironclad Regiment and Vogler's own militia, with their mismatched armor, crooked helmets. But it does nothing to dampen the spirits of everyone assembled for the Kingfisher's Festival's climactic reenactment. Now for this is just a bit of fun. We are going to roll for initiative just to see who's going to move where. Shilling and Fizz, we'll get you in that as well, just so we have a record of it. Hold on. Because although you're kind of not exactly medics, but if someone gets a bump on the head, you can run over to them. Right, let's call.
Can I roll that with advantage?
With advantage.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, what?
You don't have to
You've got to sell it, Fizz. Come on.
You got. Right. I'm gonna go.
Because
We're judges, that's why. Because we're judges.
I'm gonna go for the initiative order from what I've got here. So Jorg.
16.
16. Okay. Bakaris.
18.
Well done. Shilling.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Well done.
Dirty.
Dirty 20. Fizzwiz.
8.
8. Nobody get a bump on the head. Because it won't. Grom.
Coming in at 11.
11. Okay. And finally, Flint. Well, we call you Hawk on the map, so Hawk.
It was 13 on the dice, which is 17, I believe.
17. Okay.
High initiative plus.
Okay. So we've got 1. So we've got Shilling, Bakaris, Hawk, Jorg, Grom, and then Fizzwiz. Okay.
Not bad.
Okay. Right, I've got everything in place. After. Oh, hold on. Can you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yeah, you're all on the screen. Good. After much laughter and jostling, the mayor, Cudgel, and other spectators walk to a nearby vantage to watch. You've got crowds of people all over. As they do, the militia takes up position atop a high hill. The same hill the Solomnic troops held centuries ago. They face the mercenaries of the Ironclad Regiment at the base of the hill. Remember, you've got the high ground. Arrayed as the forces of Ishtar once were, so military format. Although the event is only a reenactment, a tingle of excitement fills the field. Somewhere on the line, a reenactor hoots and yells, this is your team. Let's send those Istarian bastards running. And cheers around you. So, just to point out, you're all using wooden swords, shields. If you don't use shields, then you just have a wooden sword. The rest of the militia around you have kind of spears with cork bungs on them, that kind of thing. So obviously nothing's going to get hurt. A moment later, a trumpet blast signals the start of the battle. And all the garrison, all the regiment at the bottom shout, "For Ishtar!" And they all start running, pelting up the hill. Yeah! This is what you've seen in the films. You've got armies and armies just run into each other. So I'm going to let you take your kind of first moves, if you will. So starting with Shilling. Mm-hmm. You've got nothing to do because you're a judge.
Of course.
But if you want to get a different angle, if you want to do anything.
How tall is like the brick wall that sort of curves around? Because I might climb on that for the better.
I think I said about 4 foot.
Oh, that's cool. I'll see if I can whiz round the back of like Hawk, Jorge, and clamber maybe just in front of Grom. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, up 25. Yeah. 29 feet of movement if I do the +4 for getting on the wall. So I shall scamper up, boom, and go about there.
Okay. So as the mercenaries are running up, Shilling comes in, cuts in between you all. Bakaris, Lord Bakaris. What do you wish to do?
This is Bakaris' show. He is so excited to be able to lead this charge. He brandishes his fancy wooden sword high in the air as he yells for the army to charge and like meet the enemy. He's going to do that thing where he goes up a little bit and lets the army pass him.
First one in, but everyone goes past. Yeah. Whoa!
Yeah. But it's that sort of dramatic moment for him. He is yelling as much as he can, for the Knights of Solemnia, and he is, for all intents and purposes, looks slightly knightly, just slightly, on his rotund horse that's carrying his rotund frame.
all in your gleaming, newly polished armor.
Oh, it's brand new.
Okay. So Picard steps forward. Then we've got Hawk.
Hawk will.
You got a horde of men running toward.
Yeah, I'm gonna move up just to a point where I think that we can engage them safely. So probably to the. Is it? Something like there.
Yep. Okay.
Which I think is about my movement-ish.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say something like, I pull my bottle of rum from the back of what appears to be nowhere, and say, "Oh, come on then, way!"
Shimmy shouts down, "Put the rum away! It's gonna smash glass everywhere."
You're bloody hell, safety.
I love that Shilling's serious about the safety here.
You shout it out, but everyone's screaming. You got all the men and women from the mercenary group running up, all your local militia running back down, screaming at the lungs. The crowd are going into as it all kicks off, and Shilling's like, "Behave yourself."
Shilling, you know I'm never going to behave myself. You know me well enough. Come on.
Again, just rolls her eyes and tuts.
So with the arm I'm wearing, Ispin's shield, I'm going to pump it into the air and start chanting "Green shield, green shield, green shield" until the crowd gets the message and hopefully start chanting along with me. I'm then going to launch into a full run forwards, and as I pass Lord Bakaris, I shall say, "Come on now, sir. You don't want to miss all the fun, do you?" And I'm just going to full move down the map and get as close as possible as I can to the action. Am I able to leap into the front ranks as I?
Oh, definitely. They're running at you, and you want to.
Right, so I'm just going to just launch myself full body into the first 3 or 4 of them, leading with the shield, so I just land on them and try and knock as many as I can prone.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, just moving straight up to them.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to worry about moving a load. Like we've got over 30 troops on that map.
Yeah.
Grom. I'm not going to start moving everyone. I mean, look at that. We'll be here all day. These are 5-foot squares, by the way, as well. So York is down there off the map. Grom, what would you like to do? Your first move.
Okay, so I'll kind of look down behind the wall, kind of smile to myself, and I'll say, "This is just to myself. Well, Mashaka, maybe we can have a little fun." And then I will cast they don't realize this, but I will cast, like, you'll see Grom's hand below the wall like start to glow, almost like yellow, and then pulse. And Shilling, Bakaris, and Hawk, you're blessed.
Oh,
So you get a 1d4 to anything to your like a roll.
Attack
Oh, well,
rolls
I'm
and singing
still
through.
holy, and I'm not even drunk. What's going on?
You say Shilling and Hawk.
And
Jillian,
Baccaris.
Bacardus, and Hawk, all three.
Okay, and Baccaris. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Living his best life at the back.
Living his absolute
Yeah.
best life.
Yep.
And finally, Fizzwiz.
So, seeing your kind of go, green shield, starts pumping the crowd as he then starts running forwards in a charge. And then he watches Grom, because from this angle, I can see. Or at least I think I can.
Ooh, yeah.
And I watch the hand glow. And I'm like, huh. I will cast Dancing Lights, and I will make 4 green lights appear around the shield as York runs forward. So every time he pumps, it goes, and this green light just emerges out from it. And yeah, I will cast Dancing Lights, and then try and figure out the
That's
offside rule
perfect.
afterwards.
Nice. Okay. So let's do with York then. So you leap, you run down this hill, you pass Baccaris, give him a dirty look as you do, whatever comment you said, and then you lift vroom, into the air. You feel this kind of tingle of a blessing on you. You see these lights start to magic and swirl around your shield as you come crashing down. All of you. There are there's battle everywhere. You can hear the crowd roaring. You get you're blocking sword attacks with your wooden shields. Those of you are fighting. Shilling and Fizzwiz, you're eagerly looking, darting around, looking to see if anyone hits the floor first. And you go tsh, 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 with your wooden swords. And you can't help but enjoy the atmosphere. Big grins on all your faces. Lord Baccaris, you're just taking in the swirl and the adoration from the crowd. It's just, every now and then you call out more commands and people go, "Way!" every single time. Until suddenly, York, while in the midst of fighting, you get a splash whoosh, across your face. You get hit by this warm liquid, and you put your hand up and wipe it, and there's blood. And then you look around and you see some of the ironclad mercenaries are not using wooden swords. In fact, they were taking the sheaths off of the swords, and they start hacking into your Vogler militia. And just off to the left, off to the right for York, you see parts of the ironclad mercenaries tear off from the battle and start attacking the women and children and the families on the side.
I head straight for those people that are attacking the women and children.
We'll find out what happens in the next session.
Whoa. What is going on?
Well done.
I thought this was all fun and games here.
Oh, it's just all
Well done.
innocent. What's going on?
Dun dun dun. So in 2 weeks' time, we will be back, and we will find out exactly what is going on at the Battle of High Hill.
It's gonna be the
Shit's gonna be
massacre at
real.
High Hill.
Yeah, I'm glad I popped that bless.
How you feeling?
Yeah, that was a good move. That was like, I'm not
was
going to do
automatic.
anything. I do
Now-
one move.
I'm glad I did it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
as a quick question, do we actually have all our normal equipment on us?
No. So
Oh.
what you've got is a
bare
wooden
hands.
sword, a wooden shield if you pick one up. Fizzwiz and Shilling have flags.
Oh, please. That might have to stop stabbing people with it.
It's all right,
And
Shirley, you can
York does
backstab
have
with
a-
the flag.
York does have a +1 shield. And
So,
three of you are
and I have
blessed.
nothing.
You have flags.
Wow.
And your
Red
wits.
flag, we're going
There's
to
going to be a lot of hiding.
It's,
Okay,
it's
but
no
it-
problem at all. Don't worry about it. We'll
Your
be
So is
fine.
it-
stick is bad news anyway. I mean,
Again, it's a nice kind of easy session to get back into what we were doing, learn more about our characters.
And then you
And
traumatize
now-
us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now I can plan what I'm doing next time, and it's full on.
Mhm.
Okay, so next
Yeah.
time, you are really against the odds. So it'll be interesting to
Over.
see how you're going to get out of this
Massacre.
one. Yes, pretty much.
It's
Wow.
gonna
Very
be
cool way to make an
fun.
episode.
But on that note, we will say goodbye to everyone watching. Thank you for watching. Do check us out on YouTube if you're not already. Thank you for joining us for those who were live.
Absolutely.
If you're on watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're watching us live on Twitch, don't forget to go to YouTube and like and subscribe. We can do all the help you that you can do. We also have Patreon and everything else that's going on. In terms of YouTube, we're trying to get to. I think the next target is 1,000.
Very cool.
We've hit 900, so thank you very much for that. Keep it going. Leave your comments in the thingies below, whether it's Twitch, YouTube, whatever. And hopefully have a good 2 weeks, and we'll see you again soon.
Come on, people. Big us up. Come on.
See you later. Bye.
See ya.